Did it.
Need to make sure my camera's all set up well too. I got a new webcam finally, so this is its test run.
It looks good to me.
Nice.
Okay, cool. It looks like we might actually be broadcasting on the right one.
Nice.
Well, maybe not. It's not showing up there, but it's showing up here.
Well, it's saying meeting is now streaming live on YouTube in my screen. So.
That's what it says in mine too.
I'm trying to find where it's streaming at. That's the problem.
On YouTube.
Yeah, but which channel?
Oh.
It's not there.
Let's see. I sit. Right
Conundrums.
here.
Okay, let's see. This it's actually showing TDB, so okay, let's see. I can copy streaming link. Let's see what that sends me to. Hey, we're in the right spot. Okay, cool. So, golden. All right. So, here in the chat box, I just pasted the link for the YouTube. If you guys want to share that everywhere, we will get the show rolling. Danny's not going to make it. He is hurting too bad tonight, which is a real surprise. I mean, if he's not showing up for the podcast, he's got to be hurting bad.
Oh yeah. So I got the task of doing random stupid facts, or is this Urban Dictionary stuff?
Random stupid facts, trying to keep it not totally horribly in the gutter, because Heather's a nice person and I like her and I don't want to run her away.
So I got you. Random stupid facts.
Yes, random stupid facts are good today.
Good. Thanks for that heads up.
Yes, I know you will go down the debauchery lane in a heartbeat if I let you.
I actually had a good link, so I got it right here already.
Okay, there it is.
Yeah, I think I've got it shared everywhere now. At least all of my relevant places.
Did we post it on your page, Facebook page also?
I'm going to here in just a second.
Okay.
All right, this is actually season 4.
Wow.
Episode 2.
Wait, I forgot my character sheet. What are we playing again?
You're horrible. You know that, Bo? Okay.
I'm Colonel Mustard.
And the geek should be coming along just as soon as Mama gets home because he's got the baby at the moment. Oh, by the way, Heather, this is the second episode in 10 years.
Oh, wow. Well, it is an honor to be here.
So, a little rusty, still working the bugs out. You just give me a second here, and
I fully understand bugs from the panel I run. So
you know how it goes.
Yeah.
I'm just here hanging out with my cat. So I'm familiar with bugs.
Okay. Writing community. All right, that looks good enough. Cool. All right, so post that and go over to Facebook and go to the group. God, I got too many pages open.
I understand that problem.
How are you guys doing? I mean, you doing all right? You guys are working from home, ain't you?
Yep, I'm doing pretty well. Today's my birthday, so I just finished eating a whole bunch of hamburgers and cake because my parents came over and surprised me. So it's a good day.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Share to news feed. All right, so I just posted it on the TDB Pirate Radio group page. Share the hell out of it. Shove it everywhere you can, pretty much.
I haven't got it yet.
I just put it up on the group page.
Yeah, it's in the Zoom chat.
Oh.
Well, no, I'm talking about on Facebook. I just shoved it in there too.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's what I'm looking for to update it.
Oh,
here it is.
Sharing. Clickety click, click, click. And they freaking Facebook changed groups, man. They changed how the groups are set up and work.
Oh yeah, I hate everything about the new Facebook setup. It's taken me forever to get used to.
Yeah,
We're looking.
it was nice when you could just go down the list of groups and okay, share, 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 share. Done.
Mhm.
That made it so much easier.
Yeah, the stuff that I'm doing, we're looking to get off Facebook altogether. We're in the process of having a development made with our own app,
Ooh.
so
That's nice.
we could leave Facebook altogether because we do like the promo wrestling stuff, and Facebook is censoring everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah. Facebook's just is making it difficult for anyone to do anything on it.
No.
You know, MySpace is starting to pick back up.
Really?
Yeah, it's named
It
something
is.
else now. Yeah, I seen that today.
I didn't even realize that was still around.
Oh yeah, MySpace is still alive.
That
Oh,
is
okay.
bonkers.
Holmes is here. All right. I don't know if Nene is going to show up. The geek should show up in a little bit. We are 5 minutes after, so I've got the shares done. We're doing pretty good on the time. I don't know if we have anybody. Where's the live stream? It's not showing up over here. Do 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 do. Well, trying to see the stream so that I can watch the chat window.
Guys, I still can't believe that MySpace came back, but they named it something totally different now.
They did?
Yeah. See, we're working with celebrity boxing, so we have to kind of watch what we do.
Well, you're kind of in the limelight too.
Yeah, so we're trying to get off the app altogether.
Come on.
One.
Oh, come on. Okay. Oh, that's why. Of course, I haven't sent myself an email in forever.
I know not to call my brother tonight because he's under the weather.
Oh yeah, he's not doing good.
Yeah, he's been. You should have seen him when he came down to get the chair. It pained me to see him walking the way he did.
Yeah, it can't be good if he's got it.
Oh,
All right,
no,
cool.
he
We
was-
have 3 viewers so far. All right. Okay, no, I don't. Okay, stop. I don't need to actually play it. There we go. Come on. All righty. And something went wrong with the chat.
The chat looks good on my end. I don't see any weirdness going on.
No, I'm talking about on the YouTube chat.
Oh,
Something's wrong with the chat. Great. That's just absolutely lovely. Okay, so I guess anybody that's actually watching and wants to join in, I'm going to share the Discord chat for 3 Ravens. And it might help if I turn that off so I don't hear all of us talking on the backside there. Copy. Okay, so I'm going to put this up in the TDB Facebook page or on our post. There we go. So there's the Discord chat. It's in our Facebook group page post. All right, cool. Yes, Richie is on there, Steph. We're streaming at a couple of bars too, by the way.
Cool.
ah.
Some friends are. What are you doing, John? Why are you sleeping? My God. Oh, now I got to watch. Great. Now I got to watch the Discord server at the same time. All right. So, I guess we can kick this off. We're like 9 minutes late, but that's okay. It's all good. We're still working the bugs out. It's been 10 years since we did this, so we're learning again. And yes, Heather, that's Maya. Hi, Maya. TDB Pirate Radio ran for 2.5, 3 seasons, and stopped because I was sidetracked and I wasn't doing what I should have been doing, which was writing. And well, babies and life, and then cancer happened and it got canceled. Well, now that I'm actually writing, I have some novels, we're doing it again.
Nice.
Because why not? And we just resurrected it. So, okay, everybody that's just now tuning in, welcome to TDB Pirate Radio. Tonight's guest is Heather Holo. And we will start off with Richie's random crap. We don't have the geek for the geek news right now because he's watching a baby. And Danny is not in a good sort right now, so he's going to be out for this show. But Richie, what'd you find for random shit?
Okay, number one. Did you know to make rubber bands to last longer, you can put them in the refrigerator?
That is some... Oh my God, that is actually totally random.
Hey, you said random, so I'm just...
That's fair. I told you random. I mean...
All right, the second one. Edgar Allan Poe married his 13-year-old cousin.
Wait, I thought that was Jerry Lee Lewis.
No, Edgar Allan Poe.
I used to teach 8th grade English, and that seemed to be the favorite thing that all of my students remembered about Edgar Allan Poe. They remembered nothing else from my unit except that he married his cousin.
You're a school marm?
Yeah. It didn't last that long because I taught a year and decided that I could do more rewarding things with my life. Not that teaching wasn't rewarding. It was, but it was also insane. And so I left. But I've got a cat on my lap who will be disrupting this entire thing. And so if I'm ever doing anything weird over here, it's because the cat is being crazy. But yeah, I taught not very long, but left to write very soon after.
You brought in your horizons, just put it that way, right?
Yep.
All right, here's another one. Number 3. The Super Soaker was actually designed by somebody from NASCAR.
Really?
Yep. All right, now I'm going to throw in something else in there. Let's see. I prepared for this, so I'm ready. All right.
You're actually prepared? That's not right, Richie.
Hey, here goes. Ready? Our circus fire killed 163 people. Everybody could have escaped under the edges of the tent, but they didn't.
Wait.
They just tried to go through the exit, through the standard exit, instead of just climbing under?
Mm-hmm.
What? I guess when you're panicking, your brain doesn't work?
Maybe.
That's wild.
I had to make it funny but clean. But in Oklahoma, it is illegal to take a bite out of somebody else's hamburger.
I need to know the story that created that law.
There's got to be some kind of stupid rule behind that one.
There has to be.
Okay, that classifies as writing fodder right there.
Yes.
All right, here goes another one. In Georgia, excuse me with my Brooklyn accent, donkeys may not be kept in bathtubs.
That's another one I need to know the story behind. Like, what led to that?
Donkeys may not be kept in bathtubs.
Like, why would it matter?
That's a law in Georgia. What the hell? Oh my God. Okay, how many more you got, Richie?
All right, I got one more. Let's see if I can come up with this one. Let's see. I'm going to go back to the one that I had before. Okay. I saved it in my phone, so I didn't lose it.
All right, Heather. So a quick question. Where is your comfort level? PG, PG-13, R, or oh my God, what the hell were you thinking?
It was between PG-13 and R. So
okay. All right, Richie. So in this episode, if you can find something on Urban Dictionary that falls between PG-13 and R, go for it.
That's gonna be hard. Well, because He already ruined Hot Pockets for me, but I won't get into that.
Why put donkeys in a bathtub, Torch Mallard? I have no idea, dude. That you got me. I'm not sure.
Oh, Jesus.
Wonder if it had
All right.
if it was due to a mix-up with the terms donkey and ass.
Why do all these things happen down south?
How about this one? Your heartbeat changes with the music you listen to.
See that? Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes
Because if you're
sense.
listening to really intense music, yeah.
Okay, everybody
Yeah, if
that's
you're
actually in the Discord general text channel, I just made a TDB Pirate Radio channel for the random chatter that doesn't confuse everybody else that might be on the channel. Must be an American thing. Yeah, that might be an American thing. Yeah, very true, because we're weird. Okay, so we did not do introductions. See, I told you, 10 years out of the loop, I'm not used to it anymore. So go around. Richie, introduce yourself.
I'm Richie. I am the Random Facts Guy, Urban Dictionary, and I'm glad to be back. It's like you said, it's been a while. 10 years, it seems longer to me. And this is the second show of the new season. It's like
Don't cry on
something
us.
I never thought that would happen again. But
Don't
hey,
cry, man. I mean, you sound like you're tearing up. I mean, it's okay, man. You need a shoulder. I mean, you need a moment. We need to find you a corner. It's okay, man.
I definitely won't find a bathtub for my donkey. That's for sure.
Okay, so the geek is watching the babies right now and maybe on later. Danny is just not in a good place right now. His back is absolutely screwed, so he's hurting pretty bad. Not sure where Nene, our resident anime plushie expert, is. I don't know if she's coming or not. So we're running with what we got, and it's okay because we got extra crew. So, Bo.
Yeah, I'm a shellback Bo. I don't know. What do you want to know about me? I've retired Navy, currently turning oak barrels into furniture and living my life.
That works. Hey, John, say something.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Cool.
Oh, you actually listed yourself as a damn Yankee. Wow. Okay.
That's because I am. For those of you who don't know me, my name is John, also J.F. Holmes, because if you look up John Holmes, trying to find my books on the internet, you're going to get quite the surprise. Don't do it with me. Okay? So my pen name is J.F. Holmes. For some reason, I'm Hillbilly's friend. He pays me $100 a month to be so. So here I am.
He pays you $100 a month?
Yeah, he tried Confederate dollars, but I was like, no, I'm not taking that crap, man.
Oh, man, come on. I mean, they're pristine.
Takes good toilet paper. See the flag behind me? Yeah.
I'm getting ripped off. He told me 150, man.
Well, I'm cheap, so.
Bastards, you're not supposed to talk. Okay, so Heather, introduce yourself. Who are you? What do you do? What do you like? And explain your cat.
Okay, well, I write books as H.P. Hollow. My current book out now is called The Wizard's Way. It's crazy steampunk fantasy with sword fighting, pugs, and wizards and explosions. But I'm working on another series that will come out later this year called Monster Punk Horizon, where I basically just wrote fan fiction of my husband's and my Monster Hunter World characters. There's plot and stuff too, but that's the essential inspiration. And so it was crazy fun, and I loved writing it. As far as my cat goes, she actually ran off to do something. I don't know what she's doing right now. She'll probably come back. But yeah, she is, I call her the boss cat / the ghostwriter / our editor. Because usually if there's an error in one of my husband's or my books, it's because she stepped on the keyboard while I was formatting it. And so, yeah, she's just crazy little boss gremlin of the house and publishing effort.
She had very important cat stuff to do.
Yes, she did have very important cat stuff to do. She's probably going to come back. And if I suddenly scream bloody murder in the middle of this, it's because she's come and jumped on the back of my chair. And the thing about it is she likes to jump on the back of chairs, but doesn't realize that this is not part of the back of the chair. And so there have been times where I've been working and suddenly there's this enormous pain clawing down my back, and it's her thinking she's getting on a chair. So yeah. Oh, she's back and making meows at me now for talking about her. She's sitting on the computer top. But anyway.
She's like,
So
Mom's talking about me.
Yeah, she knows. I feel like there was another question I was supposed to answer, but I forgot what it was.
Well, I just did something brave or stupid. I'm not sure which.
Yeah, I saw that.
Most brave things are stupid.
Well, I'm still getting used to all this new platform stuff that we've got to work with. I tossed the link into the Zoom meeting into our Discord. If anybody actually wanted to jump in and do the chat here so everybody else could see the chat instead of just being on the Discord. And if they actually have questions, they can bring it up. You know, they can raise their hand and go, "Hey, I want to talk." And well, I still have the power to mute them because I am God here.
Feel the power.
All right. So, all right, explain your latest book. What do you want to pimp? What drives you? What is your main shut up, peanut gallery? What is your main thing with writing? What part do you love to get across to your audience and see the reactions of?
Well, the thing about writing with me is I like to write because I have an overactive imagination, and it's one of the cases where if I don't write, I explode. And when it comes down to it, I mainly just want my readers to have fun. I feel like there's so many serious things in the world right now that people can be preoccupied with in real life, that it's nice to have a little break where you don't have to think about serious real life post-apocalyptic 2021 things. And so most of my I describe The Wizard's Way as a dumb wizard book. It's not dumb, but it's one of those, it's just a fun little steampunk comedy with some little serious elements. My cat is staring at me like she's planning something really evil.
Well, cats are good about that, aren't they?
Oh yeah. And the thing about it though is that she has a really sweet face, so it's like watching a marshmallow that might want to murder you. And it's absurd. And oh my gosh, now she's walking on really precarious things in my office. My office, like this, the stuff you see behind me is clean because I basically just shoved all my mess off camera. And my mom saw it earlier and was appalled when she was over here. But yeah, everything off camera is chaos in here. So if something crashes, that's what it is too. But anyway,
it's all piled on the corner one side.
Oh yeah, it's just really precarious fire hazard.
Oh, it's Piotr.
Who is that hooded man?
Piotr jumped in.
Yes.
Good night, Mike. Yeah,
Oh,
we can
yeah.
hear you.
Oh, that's good.
All right, so Heather, tonight's episode is all about the music that inspires us. So what kind of music actually inspires your work? How do you go about your writing? Do you actually listen to anything in the background or?
Oh yeah, I actually have two different classifications of music. I have music that I write to, and then I have music that I think to, and they're very different because when I'm writing, I find words really distracting. So when I write, it's always instrumentals. But when I'm thinking to music, it's sometimes there's just like a really kick-ass song that gets you in the mood to write a battle scene or something. And so I actually, before I write every day, I usually have 30 minutes to an hour or so where I'll either go through a specific playlist that I put together, or I just goof off on YouTube to music that I like there, and it just puts my brain in the right place. So in terms of music, I write to in terms of once I'm working. I write to a lot of video game music, and specifically, oh yeah, it's specific. It's well. Surprising video game music, because my husband likes to write the Doom soundtrack because everything he writes has explosions and gore and limbs flying everywhere, and Doom Eternal are perfect for that. My and the video games he wrote the soundtracks to, he's done several, but my favorite is Journey, which came out several years ago, and it's this really, it was an independently produced, really atmospheric video game, and the soundtrack to it is just this really, really chill, epic, atmospheric thing, and it's just really, really good thinking music. And he has another called Flowed that I listen to that is very similar. So he's my go-to, and I have others that I can go on forever about. But as far as my pre-writing music, I have actually one of my things around every time this year, I really get into to Super Bowl halftime shows, and I love listening to Super Bowl halftime shows before I write because there's a specific sort of energy that happens that you only ever get at spectacles that are as huge as that. And I mean, granted, the show has to be good for varying qualities of good, because there are some that I've watched and they're so low energy that it's like, I don't feel like doing anything after this.
Like this year's?
Well, I actually really liked this year's, but I like The Weeknd. So,
it was different though.
Different. I rank halftime shows. I have different ways of ranking them. I can actually go on for hours about halftime shows, so tell me to shut up. but this year's was interesting to me for various reasons. But yeah.
Okay. Did you have a question, Bo?
No, she said to tell her to shut up, so I told her to shut up.
Oh.
I'm just doing what I was told.
Okay. Now, does your music taste kind of swing depending on what you're writing? I mean, with the genres. I mean, you've got a range of genres that you play in.
I wouldn't say that it changes all that much. Sometimes I listen to slightly sillier music with others, like with Monster Punk Horizon, for example. Right now, Monster Punk Horizon, I don't even have a release date for it yet, so this is like way in the future, probably later in the year. But it's very much a sort of video game comedy, and a very very energetic, very what's the word I'm looking for? Not carefree. Well, carefree and rambunctious. So I've been listening to a lot of Kesha, actually, for that particular book.
And Kesha's great.
Yeah, it's just kind of like party music for that particular book, and a lot of pop music in general for that, just because it's just that kind of book. Whereas for The Wizard's Way, there was more alternative and slightly darker music for The Wizard's Way.
I got a question.
Uh-huh.
How do you come up with the characters' names in your books?
That varies too. I hate to say it, because there are some elements of The Wizard's Way that are really complex, and people ask me how I came up with this, and there's a complicated answer. My main character, his name is Chaucy, which actually came about because I was in college in a Great British Writers class at the time, and I misspelled Chaucer and just liked the way it was misspelled. And so that's how that name came up. But Chaucy being the main character of The Wizard's Way. But for other characters, when I actually put thought into it, I tried to think about the meanings of names, the characteristics that go into these characters, how I want to, in a book, you can tell a lot about a character by their name, like by how sharp it is or by how melodiously it rolls off the tongue. And so I put a lot of thought into the cadence of their names. And with fantasy names, a lot of times I'll just bang on the keyboard and see what happens. Honestly, like an embarrassing number of my names are just typos that I thought looked interesting.
I know some people take like names from their childhood, people they grew up with, and stuff like that, or pets or something like that.
There are occasional moments where I will do that. Like there are some cameos that are, not cameo is the wrong word, but occasionally I will name minor characters or minor elements of things that I'm writing after relevant pieces of pop culture. For example, going back to The Wizard's Way, Chaucy, his full name is J. Chaucy Thatcher. Thatcher is actually a reference to, my brain just stopped. Atlantis, the Lost Empire, which is, if you've seen that, it's like Disney's, it's this really lavishly animated steampunk movie that was one of the things that really got me into steampunk. And so Chaucy's last name is Thatcher as a reference to the main character's early production last name. The final name was Milo Thatch. So they shortened it for the final movie. But there's just that little thing, and there are a lot of little name and whatnot, or visual cues back to Atlantis: The Lost Empire, and in that. So yep.
Okay. We've got a couple other new people that have joined in. Michael J. Allen and Solomon. What is it? Solomon
Thornton. Solomon Thornton.
Oh, hey, Michael, I know you. Hi.
If you guys got any questions, pop in, chime in. Throw them at Heather. She is the guest. We get the interview. Oh wait, no, we get the roaster, don't we? Technically, I guess. Yeah, but just don't be too mean.
Don't do it hard. I cry easy.
Yes.
Roaster
Yeah, I can keep rambling. I can whatever. So.
All right. What is your one go-to song or artist
Ooh.
to do the love scenes, to do something sappy, romantic, or something just in general really emotional?
You know what? I haven't actually written a love scene. Like, my characters are all really awkward teenagers. And so, but by the end of The Wizard's Way, like, Chaucer's accomplishment is he sort of gets half a kiss.
Oh.
But, yeah, he's...
Okay.
And somehow I get compliments on this love story. I don't understand it. It's bizarre.
Okay, for like something that's really emotional, though.
There is, even though I don't have really, really emotional scenes, I do have really, emotional is not the word, really epic things that happen. And so I tend to go back to, there is a song from the soundtrack for The Fountain, and I think it's called Death is the Road to Awe. And I think the composer, I meant to write it down but forgot, I think the composer is Clint Mansell. And it's just this really, really like metaphysical sounding song. It's like you listen to it and by the end of it, you feel like you've gone to a different dimension. And that's one of those that I will write emotional or otherwise affecting scenes to. Another one that I sometimes write to when I need to get in the mood for a dramatic scene is, it's another one with a long name. My brain has decided that every time I need to think up a title, it's just going to stop. And I keep wanting to say Death is the Road to Awe. It'll come back to me in a second. I know it was used in the movie Arrival. But it's been used in a bunch of things. Oh, I'm just gonna look it up. Talk about something else while I look up the title. It's gonna bother me.
Okay, well then, going around the table, Richie, what's one of the go-to songs when you're just trying to think of, you just need to think, and it's one of those things that just, it helps to fuel the muse for you.
Well, I'll tell you what, in the promo realm that I'm in, the thing that gets me going is For Whom the Bell Turns by Metallica.
Who the Bell Tolls?
Tolls. Yeah, Tolls.
Turns? What the? Turns?
Tolls.
What the hell? That's sacrilegious
on.
Almost.
For Whom the Bell Tolls. Excuse me. That kind of gets me in the mood, and when the camera comes on, I'm like a total different person.
Oh, I found it. Okay. The song is by Max Richter, and it's called On the Nature of Daylight. And it's an instrumental song, and I think it's been used in a few movies. But it's one of those where it is so evocative and so sad sounding that I feel like I need to go to therapy after I finish listening to it. And I actually just saw the music video for it, and the music video, which I think it's cool that they made a music video for it to begin with because it's an instrumental. But the music video is just of this woman who is sitting in this diner, and she's gotten what is obviously bad news. You don't know what kind of bad news it is. But the video is just her walking as she processes it. And the actress herself is amazing and conveying just really nuanced emotion. But the song combined with the video that goes with it is just like, it's hard to watch, but it's also beautiful to watch because it's just so well put together. But it's actually a song that I can't listen to all the way through a lot of times because I get about 3/4 of the way through it and I'm either ready to write or I just need to sit. And it's a really gorgeous song. There's another by Clint Mansell actually is Leaving Earth, which is a track from Mass Effect 3. And if you've played Mass Effect 3, it's the scene at the very beginning of the game where the Reapers show up and they're just blowing the heck out of Earth and everyone's dying. And it surprised me that it was used in a video game. It might have actually been written for the video game because it's such un-video game-like music. But it's just so evocative. It's one of those songs that make me glad I have ears so I could experience it. But yeah.
Cool.
And Solomon Thornton said, right in the feels. Okay, Bo.
Yeah.
What's your go-to song?
Go-to song? I don't have a really go-to song, but I just put on Sabaton.
Okay. I mean, that still counts. You're putting on a style.
Yeah, it's historical battles to Swedish heavy metal. What could go wrong?
Oh.
All right. Piotr, the Three Ravens' latest sign-on
Oh,
for
congratulations.
his in Little
Thank you.
Invasion series, Dragoon. All right, so what's your go-to for your muse?
My music is a bit of a mixture. I have a bit of Polish, bit of Kiwi, bit of Filipino, bit of Polynesian, a lot of stuff. So I really don't really have an actual go-to song, except for maybe there's a song called Dream. And it's by a New Zealand singer who basically tells his story about how he went from rags and poor and all that stuff to having a dream and following the dream. And it's one of those songs that I like getting up to in the morning, to the extent that my wife just wants me to pick another song.
I got a random thing. Why, when you hear the Pokemon song, you want to get out and run?
I
You
don't
gotta
know.
catch them all.
You
it's
want to run and
nostalgia
catch
for
them
me.
all.
I hate that song,
Like, I love that song. Oh my gosh.
but I'm not a Pokemon fan either. I mean, Digimon, screw Pokemon.
Hey, I got a
love
Pokemon
Digimon
fan
too.
in the house.
Really?
Oh, I'm
Wow.
both. The Monster Punk Horizon series, like it's the first book is very much Monster Hunter World inspired, but the world I constructed around that setting is the entire series is holding my cat's being crazy again. Go away. It's basically a love letter to all those monster hunting shows that I grew up with because I was a kid when Pokemon first aired, and so it's like I was part of that original Pokemon, Digimon, Monster Rancher. All these other series. I think I missed Yu-Gi-Oh! Actually. That series landed right when I was going into high school and thought I was too cool for anime, which lasted maybe 3 years. But yeah, I was always primarily a Digimon fan, more so than Pokemon, but I love them both. There's something about the Pokemon theme song that I don't know, it hits this sort of over enthusiastic, nostalgic instinct for me, and so it's one of those songs where I hear the first note and suddenly I'm excited for no reason whatsoever.
Well, it's a song that's got a good beat. It's very positive in the beat and the melody, but then the lyrics are also positive because it's a guy who's got his hopes and his dreams, and he's going to do it. He's putting a plan together, and he's going to take care of that plan.
Yep.
And so it's a really good message inside the song.
Yeah. That's one thing that I like about the Pokemon universe in general. I recently started rewatching, or not rewatching because I hadn't seen it before, but I think Pokemon Sun and Moon. And there's just, even though I don't have the benefit of nostalgia for that little show, and even though it's intended for kids, obviously, there's just something really relaxing and comforting about all the positivity in that setting and the way it's designed. It's like Pokemon is very much a comfort show, even when it's from the series that I didn't watch as a kid. And so I love it for that reason.
Hey, the movie was done real good too. I gotta say that was.
Okay. Holmes, you got any kind of music that you listen to, or you're just frozen up there in the Great White North, or what?
Cleaning gun parts. I listen to the Teletubbies soundtrack.
America. Wait, no, you're a Yankee. What the hell? You can't say America?
He just
That's
said
'cause-
Teletubby soundtrack.
Yeah, dude, that's the
Hey.
shit, man.
Hey, you know the son grew up, right?
Yeah, I know. I follow his career. I'm
There
good.
you go.
I'm a tubby. I admit it. No, lately I've actually been into listening to a lot of Pink, which sounds kind of silly because I'm
Oh, I love Pink.
Wait.
Get to something.
Okay, you of all people, you're listening to Pink?
yeah. Also, Taylor Swift, yeah, and actually I found myself listening to a lot of 80s and 90s stuff.
Well, there ain't nothing wrong with the 80s stuff.
But no, and also I listen to there's a singer who does 1930s torch songs, and she's just got a kick-ass voice, like boogie woogie kind of stuff and swing music, and I listen to that a lot too. So a big variety of my soundtrack. And then every now and then when I fly to New Zealand, I hang out with Piotr and we listen to like his Maori war chants and stuff like that. He jumps up and down,
Maori.
singing,
Awesome.
whatever, and he starts singing,
Whatever.
doing a haka and all that other stuff. He scares the crap out of me.
And Piotr is in New Zealand. He is probably the furthest out for this podcast right now. I don't think anybody's got him beat on mileage from the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
And it's my Saturday today, so
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's right.
yeah. So I've decided I actually decided that today I'm going to do some writing, and yet here I
About
am.
time.
What?
About friggin' time you did some writing.
Why?
Because you're a slacker, Piotr. Come on. Get to work, man.
All right.
Well, I'm here right now, and actually, I'm going to tell you a wee story. Yesterday, I was on the bus because why not? And one of the passengers looked incredibly familiar, even though I've never met him before. And then I realized that this person looked exactly like one of the characters from my first book that John published, Chimera. So that was a bit weird. It's like being stalked by one of my characters.
Wow.
Did you get her autograph or what?
You know, I really wanted to do that, but like, you know, the people that were with me was like, no, don't do anything stupid.
Dude, he who dares wins. I'm just saying. But I'm like, holy shit, you're right.
Yeah, hey, I'm thinking that maybe next time when she's on the bus with me, I'll just, I don't know, position my chair next to her and go,
Don't do
hi.
that.
And,
Piotr, it's creepy.
Yeah.
Don't do it, okay?
why not?
Because it's creepy and you're going to get slapped. And you're too nice.
You
to
find
me.
my chest?
Dude, I'm a guy in a wheelchair. What's the worst that can happen to me? If anything, she'll go, aww.
Hey, you never know.
Okay.
You never know.
Okay.
It's true.
All right. Shh.
All right.
We have a guest. See, look, she's cute too. Don't run her off, man. Hey, wait a minute. Where's Jacob at? Why is he hiding?
He's at work at other
Oh.
job. Yep. He's got a weird schedule where he works until like 10 at night. So it's like I get 2 writing days in one day and it's awesome.
Hey, HP, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
When you keep saying Monster Hunter, is it related to Larry Correa's Monster Hunter?
No, related to this is actually a discussion we had to have in my house a lot because I lost my train of thought again. I'm talking about the Capcom Monster Hunter video game series.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah.
No, I was just curious.
Same name but very different.
No, I got it. I was just curious.
Yeah.
So, cool. What age group is that aimed at? Are your books aimed at?
I would say The Wizard's Way is young adult. Monster Punk is going to be older young adult / new adult just for language.
Okay.
But young adults could read it if they're mature or sufficiently immature enough.
Well, how do you feel about writing for younger people? Because if I turned to my 16-year-old and said, "Hey, what do you think of this?" She'll be like, "Oh," you know what I'm saying?
I used to after I stopped teaching. I worked in young adult services at a library for about, I want to say 7 years. And so I actually I like the teenage brain. Like there's something like they're insane, but there's something really which I mean I can actually say that about a lot of people that I like. But you've got that.
Have you met some of our
brain.
writer friends?
Oh yeah.
It doesn't matter whether they're teenagers or not, they're still insane.
Oh,
Teenagers are in that weird period of life where they still have really, really childlike enthusiasm for things, but they're also trying to figure out how to be an adult. And so you'll get these moments where they're just acting like complete dumbasses, but then they'll suddenly have this really, really smart observation. And it's like, how did that come out of the mouth of a 15-year-old? And so teenagers are a lot more complex than people give them credit for. And I don't interact with teenagers a lot more just because I work from home. And but I do have a sister who works as a media assistant in a high school library, and she says a lot of the same things about her teens. And it's just I like writing about teens because they're still trying to figure out their path through the world. Yes. And that's a really interesting concept to me. Partly because as an adult, as I age, like teenagers feel like they have a complete grip on the world, even when they don't, solely because of, lack of experience. But it's one of those things where you don't realize how unexperienced you are until suddenly you hit the adult world and it's like, oh shit. Yep. And one interesting thing to me as I've aged is that I have these periods where I think I've figured things out. And then suddenly some new element of adulthood hits, and it's like you have to readjust. So there's a certain aspect of being an adult that's almost like being a teenager over and over again. And
when the mortgage bill hits and you got to pay it, you hate being an adult.
Yeah. but it's just, yeah, I find I forgot what the original question was actually.
I was asking you about how do you write for younger kids?
I try to treat them with the same respect I would treat adult authors. Or adult readers. There's obviously different ways to approach certain subject matter. For example, a sex scene in a novel I write for adults is going to be written very differently from for a sex scene written in a teenage novel. There's which I have mixed opinions on sex in teenage novels. I feel like you have to approach it very carefully. Because the thing about it is teens are interested in sex. Like parents can be all appalled by the idea. And in fact, when I worked in the library,
they're lying to themselves if they don't think their kids are doing that, thinking about that.
Oh yeah. The thing is, when I worked at the library, whenever parents asked about content in books, they were always a lot more concerned about violence than they were they were always more concerned about sex than they were about violence. And like they were perfectly fine with their kids reading The Hunger Games, but if there was a description of a body part, oh my gosh, just any body part in this book, they were going to be scandalized. And I remember there was one book that was really, really controversial. I think the book was the Totally Honest Diary of a Part-Time Indian or something like that. And I remember there being this huge controversy over sexual content in it. I finally read the book expecting to be completely disgusted. There is maybe one sentence in this book where a character is being totally goofy and he makes the comment that, education is good. You should get a boner for education. And I'm like, that's the controversial thing. Really? And
wow.
But to my original point, I feel like sex needs to be addressed in teenage books because they're interested in it, but it needs to be addressed intelligently because some parents are so squicky about, like, they're so weirded out by the idea of talking about sex with their teenager that they don't address it. And so some teenagers are only going to learn about it through the fiction they read and
on their own. Yeah.
Yeah. And
or Sears. Sears catalog was our generation.
Playboy, Hustler,
right. Catalog, and so I feel like I don't want to say that like I think young adult authors should write about sex more often because I mean there's obviously a young adult audience that doesn't want to read about sex too, but I feel like it's the kind of thing that if you're going to portray it to teens, you have a responsibility to portray you should, excuse me. portray it responsibly and intelligently.
Right.
Write it as they think, you know?
Yeah. And honestly, if I write a sex scene for teens, I'm probably going to emphasize stuff about, birth control and the fact that, babies happen because of sex. Whereas with an adult sex scene, like adults know that stuff. So you don't really have to.
You would hope, but there's
you
some that.
But with adults have a different approach to sex, especially if they've had more of it, and so you write it differently. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that if I was writing a YA that I would even broach it other than a kiss, and fade to black, and just okay, it's whatever it was, and move on.
And it varies by the kind of book too. Like there are some young adult books out there. I remember there was one in particular that we got close to the time I left the library, where like we passed it around and was like, guys, is this actually teen appropriate? We don't know. And because it was very graphic, and we ended up keeping it in the teen department because it was marketed toward teens. And when it comes down to it, at least as young adult was defined when I worked there, young adult is from it's for us it was age 12 to 18, and that's it's young adult, but it's a wide range of stages of development. And so like I'd be completely fine with an 18-year-old reading it, especially a mature 18-year-old. A 12-year-old, no. But also teens, even at different ages, there are 12-year-old teens who can be vastly more mature than other 12-year-old teens.
I was just going to say that. Yeah.
Yeah, and so
my 12-year-old read Flux Runners without a problem.
Yeah.
And giggles and does the giggle, snort, and laugh, but she's so much mature than a lot of adults that I know.
Oh yeah, and that kind of thing makes a huge difference.
She's 13 now.
Holy cow!
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, as far as me, like I've never actually written a sex scene. Like there are the two characters that have a romance in the Wizard's Way, like their romance is going to develop, and that will probably happen at some point. And I do plan on addressing it intelligently when it does. But not all stories need it. And so, yeah.
Wow.
Cool. Oh,
cool.
Oh, we got Steverson popping in here too. As soon as he loads up. There he is. He loaded up. All right, Nick. Hey, you got questions for Heather? I'm putting you on the spot since you popped in here towards the end of the show.
I'm still catching up on it. I've got to figure all this out.
We are almost to the end. That went by super fast.
Oh yeah, we're the hour is just blazing by. Oh, look at you in your fancy new chair. Aren't you just special there,
this
precious?
Thing's great.
Oh, I have chair envy. That is awesome.
Wow, that's a beautiful chair.
I want the one with the dark
Turn the camera. Show your brand new workstation. You just set it up. I know this. I saw your pictures.
Hold on.
Now, anybody that doesn't know, Nick is the son of Kevin Steverson, creator of the Salvage Universe.
Oh.
I'm sure he's okay on his own too. I mean, it's time to let him, be himself, okay?
Yep.
Not just every time he comes on. Oh, that's Kevin.
Only took you what, like a week to build that?
2 days, hey. With the help of the wife and a 14-year-old.
All right, so you got any questions for Heather?
I'm actually still learning about Heather. I'll be very honest, I haven't read anything she's written yet, but I'm interested.
I think we just became Facebook friends like a week ago too.
Yeah, it hadn't been long.
So yeah, but I just a small summation. I write silly steampunk fantasy with sword fighting pugs and wizards. So, but yeah, I can just yammer on about music too. Though I guess we've been talking about music and sex basically.
I heard.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Music and sex go together.
Yeah, quite well.
Hey, but, and writing all together,
Oh yeah. But yeah, I'm thinking I have little notes that I wrote down. Let's see, we talked about
You're taking notes?
Oh no, I made a little note page because I don't think on the spot very well.
Everybody else is drinking like whiskey and stuff, and you're taking notes? Why are you the responsible one? You're the guest.
No, nervous when there's not a plan, which is
Yeah, we got gun disassembly going on. We got whiskey drinking going on, and you're taking freaking notes. Oh wait, no, that's right. You're the school marm, but we love you anyway.
Oh, I see a question popping up on the Zoom chat. It says, "What advice do you have for someone trying to become an author?" And I guess all the authors in this could answer, but I act like I'm the
Send your
host,
manuscript to Hillbilly.
Open,
Yes.
Yeah,
open submissions.
exactly.
If I were to give general advice, I would say finish your book first, which it sounds really stupid, but the thing is, I get a lot of people who come to me at cons and are like, "I love to write. How do you do it? What do you do?" And so I start asking them about their stories and whatnot. And I get a lot of people who are like, "I've been working on these 10 pages for 7 years." And it's like you cannot
good
work
luck
as a
with
writer
that.
writing 10 pages for over the course of 7 years. And that's actually something that like obviously you want to write fast as a writer, but that's something that I actually didn't learn until I really got into the business of writing. I'm an indie author myself, and my husband is traditionally published through Bain. And we've been self-publishing for, I want to say, going on 6 years. And when we first started, we just we had no idea what we were doing. We had some books written and we just put them out there and thought that they would sell well on their own merits, and they are strong books. But the thing that I learned about indie publishing over the course of several years is that readers read fast and they want new books fast, and you have to release fast. And there are authors who make their entire living, basically they write a whole series, finish the complete series, and they don't actually publish it until the entire thing is finished, and then just release it one after the other. And yeah, but the thing is, to finish my original answer, you have to have a book first, and you have to devote yourself to writing, because the thing is, you may think you enjoy writing, but sometimes you're going to have to write when you don't want to. And it's I have to, some days writing isn't fun, and some days writing doesn't flow out of your fingertips like you're inspired. And you have to know that if you really want to get into writing as a career. Now, if you just want to write a book and be and just for the fun of it, put it out there, that's different. But yeah, and I think Michael J. Allen wants to contribute too.
Yeah. Michael had a question, which everybody, shh, the editor showed up. Everybody hush, be nice.
So first off, hi, Heather.
Hi.
I wanted to contribute to that question. When we were kids, we were all about imagination and let's pretend and doing everything else. And then, of course, we grew up to a point where we decided we want to be writers. And we forget that becoming a writer and doing it is a lot like restoring an old house. You got to run the water a long time to get the plumbing so that you can actually drink the water. So yeah, write your book and then set it aside and go write something completely different. I made the mistake early on of 7 revisions of a 10-book series before Ann Crispin finally kicked my butt and made me go write something else.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
Can I add something in here?
Go for it.
Be open to constructive criticism. Okay, nobody writes the best book in the world at first shot. I mean,
Well, there are heads nodding all over the screen with that one. Oh, absolutely.
When I put my first book out there, my wife started reading it, and she's like, "Your grammar's horrible. I can't read this." I was like, "What do you mean?" And she has read very little after what I've written, even though I've gotten much better because, I was not receptive to her input. So learn and be aware that you can always do better than what you did. And going back to what Mike said, write something else too. Take your lessons learned. Don't go back and rewrite your 10 pages again. Go on and write something else and apply the lessons that you learned. Be very open to criticism, and don't read 1-star reviews. They'll drive you crazy.
Well,
sometimes they're actually kind of hilarious, though.
They are.
Oh, they are. Now to add to that, look at it as a building block. Don't look at it as a personal attack, because a lot of people do that. They'll take that butt hurt. Oh my God, you hate me. No, it's a building block. Okay, I've been a draftsman, designer for going on 20 years now. I'm used to people bleeding on my stuff. I cannot produce a good product unless I know what's wrong. And if nobody tells me there's something wrong, then I just move on happy and, happy and good.
Yeah, I'll give you an example. Hillbilly sent me a story for an anthology 2 weeks ago, was it?
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is not what I wanted, dude. It's, it was good, but it was not what I was asking for as a publisher. And he said, you're an ass. I can't stand you. You're an ass. What do you mean? It's a great story. And I said, no, but yeah, I already have one exactly like that. So please write something else. And I trust that he will and write something else. But it was just, okay, we reached an agreement and we moved on. Otherwise, if you get stuck on that rejection, so to speak.
Yeah, I haven't quite got there yet because I've been busy with moving garden.
Yeah, whatever.
One thing I will say too is that I feel like as writers, we want our work to be perfect, but especially if you're trying to get it out there fast, at some point you just have to say good enough. And
Yes.
that's something I struggled with my early work because The Wizard's Way is actually the product of 10 years of writing. And part of that is because, I started it when I was in high school. I started the world when I was in high school. And it changed significantly. The book that resulted is actually the result of a 2-year-long complete rework of everything I had written then. But I forgot my point again. Oh my gosh.
Squirrel.
But
okay.
What was the point?
Well, now
I had a good point.
Don't worry about
I forgot what it was.
Yeah, don't worry about perfect. Now, okay, with Flux Runners, I wrote Flux Runners. It took me 3-4 months to actually write 138,000 words. And I spent the next 9 months bleeding on it and going over it again. And it finally got to the point like, okay, screw it. I'm never going to get anywhere else if all I do is keep going back. And I know for a fact there are errors in it because I've seen them after I've had to go back and look for stuff, but I won't go back and touch it because if I do, I won't move on and do the next thing.
Yeah.
Now,
my point about...
Eventually, I'll pay somebody to actually go back and edit it for me, and then I'll upload the good, clean one. But for now, it's like, it's done. It was my very first novel, but it's done.
Yeah.
Yeah. My point about The Wizard's Way was similar, is that I got to a point where I wanted to edit it. It was my first novel, and I wanted it to be the most perfect thing I could put out there. But when it came down to it, we had to have print copies ready for Anime Weekend Atlanta, and I was down to the deadline. And so I was like, you know what? Good enough. And there were a few errors in the print copy that I find a little bit embarrassing, but I had to get it out there. And honestly, whenever I release a sequel, we're actually going to re-release the first one, and with some fixes too. And another thing I will say about editing too is one of the perks of indie publishing, especially if you have control over your own documents, over your own EPUB and whatnot documents, is you have the freedom to go back and change stuff. Because every time we do some sort of significant change to a book, like a cover update or something like that, or if we're making an audiobook, I'll go through the text and reread it and take notes and find things to fix, because there's always something that missed. You can think you've released the most perfect thing and you haven't, because your eyes are just so used to it. And so whenever I find those little things, or whenever a reader says, hey, there's an error right here, I just go into my file on my computer and change it and then re-upload the files. And when you're indie, that's really easy to do. It's different for traditional publishing, because usually once the file is done, it's done. And so yeah.
Okay, Piotr, you wanted to add something?
Yeah. Look, since I'm kind of starting out as an author, and I've had the privilege of working with John, and now I'm having the privilege of working with you. And the one thing that I'm definitely learning is it is about editing is very important, but you've got to reach that point where you just got to and then just move on. Otherwise, you're going to get very much fixated. And all joking aside about that character on that bus that I saw the other day, you kind of reach that point where you just become incredibly obsessed. So, yeah, it's time to move on. And John is right. I should probably start writing something new. And I'm creating a new idea, and hopefully one day soon somebody will see it.
Well, I gave you a challenge. Now,
Yes.
we must have our words of wisdom. Oh, great guru editor, please bestow your wisdom upon us. Do not hurt us. We love you.
So one of the things that I do, or actually the
Wait,
way
no,
that I got
hold
started
on, hold
in
on. You
this.
got to introduce yourself first.
Oh,
The
I'm
great
sorry.
and
I'm Maya
powerful
Cleave.
Maya.
I am currently working with Wordfire Press, which is Kevin Anderson's publishing house, Chris Kennedy Publishing, and hopefully William will have something for me eventually. I also do freelance editing and proofing. And what I was going to say is, having worked with Kevin Anderson, and he started out putting out all of Frank Herbert's backlist, which is a ton of books. And I can tell you, these are books that were done back in when, you know, editors actually looked at the manuscript and would go through. And the reason Kevin was having us go through it was for two reasons. First off, they were scanning them in, so the books didn't always, the scanning software didn't always translate well, so he needed human eyes to go over it and make sure that paragraph breaks are in the right place, that the characters translated correctly, stuff like that. But as the software's improved, I can tell you there are still mistakes in those books from 50 years ago.
Wow.
That are would be considered typos, wrong words, wrong punctuation. And sometimes you come across a phrase and you're like, what the hell? How did this get passed for this author?
But now a phrase could have been from a time frame, though.
That's what I was just thinking.
Yes,
maybe things changed.
Well, some of it is, but I mean, I've been reading since I was in second grade, and I have read so much stuff between, I started out with C.S. Lewis. I didn't get to Lord of the Rings until probably about 10 years ago, but I mean, I've gone there. Romance novels, everything from the little teen romance novel that you could tear through in like 3 hours to the, you were talking about age appropriate books earlier. I found the adult historical romance section when I was in high school.
Oh God. how bad was it?
I started having a contest with myself. From the book cover and the description on the back, I would bet myself how long it would take before the first sex scene. And the winner was page 1, paragraph 1.
Wow.
And I was like, alrighty then.
That's hilarious.
So that was always entertaining. But unfortunately, I burned out on romance, so I don't do romance anymore. But science fiction, fantasy, historical fiction at this point, Bernard Cornwell, I just love his stuff. So I do a lot of reading, and a lot of the stuff, especially science fiction back in the 80s, you were basically grubbing around in the back corners of the library or the bookstore trying to find anything at all. So, I mean, I've read Heinlein, I've read Herbert, I read Dune when I was in late in high school. I found out that I was late reading that too, but if I had tried to read it earlier, I don't think I would have gotten half of it. I read it again probably 10, 15 years ago because the house books were starting to come out. And I realized, wow, I knew the general overall arching theme of the book, but I think a lot of that was because of the movie. And then, did I freeze?
No, you're still going.
You're still there.
Oh, okay. My video froze on my side. We have really tweaky connections sometimes. Anyway, so I'm usually pretty good at picking up weird phrases and weird terminology and things like that. So, if I found anything, I'd be like,
you were able to handle a train wreck, so you know.
Well, yours was a train wreck for a totally different reason.
Yeah, and I've still got to finish my review so that I can send my list off to Guinness.
Okay.
I actually noticed that in my own writing. When I started 7, 8 years ago, I included references like Game of Thrones lockdowns and things like that. And I realized people going back and reading those books now are going to have no idea what that's about because the pace of culture has sped up so quickly. So I always warn authors, try not to make it too right there in that time, right?
Don't lock yourself in.
Right, and don't throw all these cultural things in there that aren't going to mean anything in 5 years.
That's something that I actually learned pretty quickly this year, and I finished the first 2 books in the Monster Punk Horizon series, and book 2, I started writing at the beginning of lockdown last year, whenever COVID was first a thing, and so there are a few COVID references in there, and it's sort of exaggerations of how COVID affected our lives back then. But then when I went back to read it when I went back to revisit it late last year and then early this year, our understanding of the virus and our culture at this point is so different relative to the way it was back then in terms of how we approach the virus that those references within 9 months before I even published the book were completely irrelevant. And so that's and that particular kind of book it's going to be a lit RPG book, so it's written to be a quick, easy read that may or may not have some longevity, but it's still a relevant thing to keep in mind. Just the dangers of including very, very timely content.
All right, so we have a question from Discord. How do you relax after you finish writing, Heather?
Ooh. Sometimes I just go listen to more music. A lot of times I just go play video games, and it's of course Monster Hunter World. I also go to Horizon Zero Dawn. That's actually what I've been playing all day today. I just like going around and shooting little monsters. And I will also play No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky was my game of choice for a while because there was a period last year where I just hated people because people can be savage. And the thing about No Man's Sky is that when the game first came out, it was billed as this game where you could like go in space and randomly meet people, but that didn't actually kind of happen in the game. And the result is that you often have entire planets to yourself. And I just liked, if I had a day where I got really frustrated with people, I just like to plop down on No Man's Sky and go settle just on my little planet, me by myself with no other humans around in this virtual setting. And I remember getting really mad when someone flew through my sky. Like, why are you on my planet? But No Man's Sky is one of those games, if you haven't played it, where it's kind of a collecting, a resource gathering game, and you just kind of you fly around the universe and gather all this junk and try to establish your little base on the planets you discover, and then you just go around and do whatever. And it's just a fun little relaxing game. So, or I'll read, of course. But.
All right, so we are right at about an hour. All right, I guess we'll go around real quick. Richie, you got anything you need to plug?
Not really. I mean,
wrestling thing.
Look for in the future. Our group is called TRP, Top Rank Promotions. We're gonna start doing some stuff with celebrity boxing in the future, and it's just a bunch of us guys doing just promo wrestling from home and creating different things, and living our childhood dreams without getting hurt, I guess.
All right.
You can put it that way.
Holmes, you got anything you need to plug?
I'd like to see Taylor Swift box Scarlett Johansson if I could.
Cool.
Random.
Yeah.
Fallen Empire just came out, the Irish Brigade. It's a new series that we're starting, which will have about six authors or so hopefully participating. It is an homage to David Drake and Hammer Slammers.
Ooh.
It is 27th century mercenaries, and it's set in a fall of an alien empire, very similar to the Western Roman Empire, and what happens afterwards. So if you want to get yourself a taste of some good old military science fiction, where good guys are good guys and bad guys are bad guys, and our heroes fall in the middle, then go check out the Irish Brigade by J.F. Holmes. Ta-da! Oh, and Zombie Killers.
I'd like to see Pam Anderson and Cardi B go at it in the ring.
Pam Anderson would kick Cardi B's ass.
Fjorder, you got anything to plug?
Except for Chimera and Dragoon 2 that will be coming through to Three Ravens down the line. That's it, really.
All right, Nick.
Salvage Title Universe. Go check every bit of it out. I got 2 novels, a novella. Hillbilly Over's got a novel in there. Kevin Steverson, that trilogy coming out. There's already a movie deal for all 3 of them books coming.
You owe me a chapter still.
Yep. I do owe you a chapter. Yes. That book is coming soon. There's another book after the book I'm working on now coming. So I've got a full plate. Y'all be seeing plenty from me.
All right. Michael,
Cool.
you got anything you want to plug? He's muted out.
Sure, I can do that. Publisher just let me know today that Faye West, the first of my Guns of Underhill series, is going on sale the second half of March for 99 cents. And you can go find all the retailers at bookstoread.com/GOU1.
Okay. All right. And our special guest, Heather Holo.
All right. Well, in addition to The Wizard's Way, which is available everywhere books are sold online, and Monster Punk Horizon, which has not released yet, but will also be available there. I'm also doing a giveaway, which also features Hillbilly, and we are basically giving away a whole bunch of signed space opera and giant robot books. So I'm going to include the link in the comments. But if you're interested in winning 5 or so awesome signed books with lots of explosions, that's a thing we're doing too.
Awesome.
Let's see here.
The messenger is pretty good.
I've got the giveaway posted all over the place too.
Yes,
And
so it's the title is like Mix and Misfits and Explosions. Oh my! So that's you'll see it around, but I'm gonna post it on our various places too. So yes, and thank you for having me, by the way. Before I forget to say it, because I know I will.
It was awesome having you.
Follow us on TDB Pirate Radio on Facebook and YouTube. I am William Joseph Roberts. The latest thing we have with Three Ravens, we have JTF Origins. Today is the last day that is up for free right now. Go snag it while you can for the ebook. We have Flux Runners audio is now out on Audible. If you want a good laugh, go check it out. Brian Stansberry is a very good comedic delivery narrator. His stuff with Making Man and Cheating Death were absolutely amazing. I can't think of any. Oh, wait. The Corner Scribblers. We have Take Me to Your Reader, a flash collection of first contact stories. Oh, look. Wait, I don't even have my copy. The kids stole my copy. With guest author Dan Holyfield. Is out on Amazon right now. I think the print copy is like $5 and ebook is 99 cents. So
Worth it.
That should be it. Y'all take it easy and we'll see y'all next month.
Cool. Those of you who would like a translated copy of this from Hillbilly to English, it's available for an extra $10 through.
Oh, wait, I got 2 of them, John. See that? Oh,
hey, I got something random. You wanted me to look up something random, so I got something.
Oh, dear God.
Oh, hey, there's someone in the comments who says one more question. Solomon.
Oh, one more question. Okay, Solomon, go ahead. Oh, yeah, we got Starflight coming up soon, very soon.
Yeah, I owe you that story too. Sorry.
Yeah, I still owe you a Fallen Empire story. I haven't got to it yet. John, you are going to reprint the whole IST1 so it's in one book?
No, I'm not, because unfortunately, Amazon is a huge pain in the ass to work with, and they limit the book size based on what you originally put it out in. So I cannot make it fit any more of the anthology unless I reduce the print size to probably like 2 points, in which case you will need a magnifying glass to. It's at 700 and something pages now. If I go over 1,000, it's just not going to fit.
Oh dear God! So do it in 2 sections, maybe. Wow.
Well, it's a complete anthology of 10 books.
Okay.
And the 11th book just doesn't fit. So, but I make more money when you buy the individual books. Hint, hint. Stop being a cheap.
Go get the audio. It's good.
Yes, the audio too.
All right.
You ready?
See y'all next month.
All right.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Get you later.
And I will upload this after I do some editing and throw the intro and outro onto it and blah, blah, blah. And I'll put links to everybody's pages. So Send me links, send me anything, promo pictures, all that kind of pretty stuff that you want shoved into the end of this, and I'll add it in on the editing.
All
And see
right.
this, I'm still